Over the past few years, I have had the opportunity to show you some budget-friendly human hair wigs from Emma Hairpiece. I've lost count of how many of their wigs I've shown you. Today, I have an opportunity to do a comparison video. So Emma Hairpiece occasionally carries wigs that you can choose straight or curly. And I've never shown you both. I've usually shown you one or the other. Well, today Emma Hairpiece has allowed me the opportunity to show you this piece right here. MT11 is the number, and you can choose straight or curly, and I get to show you both. So let's learn about these, and I have two of their brunette colors, which I will also compare. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook. I am partnering with Emma Hairpiece to bring you this review. They sent me both of these wigs at my request so that I could give you guys this comparison, because I know how hard the journey is. And so as much information as we can learn, not just in tips and tricks videos, which are super important and I love making them, but reviews help us to determine whether or not a wig is a good purchasing decision for us. And the fact that they carry these wigs and they have these options where you can choose a straight or a curly piece can be really confusing. So I'm really grateful to Emma Hairpiece for the opportunity to show you these wigs. Okay, so these wigs have been washed and air dried. I have not done any styling to either one of these, and I did not cut the lace on this one. So you might be able to see that. I'm not sure how much it's showing up, but there's the lace. That is how both of these wigs come with lace that needs to be cut. That is very, very common on human hair wigs. Cut the lace on the curly piece so that you could see it without the lace cut and with the lace cut. Sometimes I do curl human hair wigs so that I can show the potential for styling. In this case, I chose not to do that with this one so that you could see how she air dried, and she air dried beautifully. Now, these are considered more budget friendly because they are made with 𝘠𝘦 human hair, which just means that the cuticles of the hair are all aligned in the same direction. I have a whole video where I talk about what 𝘠𝘦 hair is and why it's important. I will link it below so I don't spend time going into that here. But usually when you get 𝘠𝘦 human hair wigs, you're looking at a price point well above $1,000. These, though, are retailing for about $895. There are some discounts available. I'll put some details in the description box depending on when you watch this. They have a Black Friday sale happening here shortly, and so if this is beyond Black Friday of 2024, then I can save you 15%, I believe. I'd have to look, 10 or 15% on this piece, but there is a special sale going on. So look down in the description box to see what kind of money you can save if you decide you do want to try this. Now, one of the things that generally happens with more budget-friendly human hair wigs, there are a couple of areas where trade-offs are usually made. One of those areas is the knots. On human hair wigs, especially brunettes, if the knots aren't bleached, you can sometimes see them depending on the cap construction. The knots on this piece are not bleached. They're not super visible, but they are definitely not invisible. And obviously with this lace cut, it's going to look a little more natural because you're not going to see lace sticking out there. Another area where I find wigs like this are sometimes their trade-offs is the hairline. So the hairline on this piece, and actually let me throw her back on. I was pulling her off my head because I don't have a wig grip on and this cap is a little big on me. So let me just get her resituated. So sometimes on human hair wigs, you will see a hairline that's been plucked. And so it's a little more sparse at the hairline. It's not straight across like this piece is right now. And that is usually a value add service. And the more that is done to a wig, the more it increases the price. So I feel as though these wigs are almost more like the base model. And then if you wanted to have it customized further for you, have the hairline plucked, have it thinned a little bit because these are a little bit on the heavy side, we'll talk about that in a moment, then you can pay someone to do that, which would then bring the price point a little bit closer to what you generally find with 𝘠𝘦 human hair wigs. So I like to point these things out. I don't think these are bad things. I think they're important information so that you can decide what you're willing to do when it comes to purchasing a wig. Another area where there may be trade-offs when you're looking at a more budget-friendly price, and obviously I threw the curly one on, and again, she is air dried. I've done no styling. I've done no customizing to this. This is how she came. So another area would be the cap. So one of the things you'll notice is this is not an extended lace front. We have just basically temple to temple. It does not go to ear tab to ear tab. And so one of the things to be aware of with that is if you like to pull the hair all the way back, that lace is going to end and you're going to need to figure out how you hide that transition. I think they did a pretty good job of making the transition not super obvious. Sometimes there is a really harsh line where it ends. So if you have some bio hair that you can pull out at the temples, that can help a lot with hiding any lace transition to cap. This has a silk, got soft ear tabs with bendable stays. We have an extended nape. There are hook adjusters so that you can adjust the circumference of this a little bit, and the rest is closed wefted. Another benefit of a silk top is it gives it more of an appearance of scalp. So you can see on this one, it looks more like scalp color. Another thing to know about silk tops is they are a little bit heavier than lace because it's more than one layer, and they're very smooth. So if you have found lace to be itchy on your scalp, a silk top is just what you think it is. Super smooth, super flat, and so you don't have to worry about all the itching that you might experience with a lace top. And let's take a look at the curly one from all sides. Now on the website, it does say that these are light density 120%. I 100% disagree with that. But here's the thing. There is no standard when it comes to density claims. The industry does not have a standard for density. So every company is going to assess density differently. It's also going to depend on the type of hair used. This is, to me, it feels like a lot of hair. Even though it's permed, it's going to be a little fluffier. I mean, it's just got a lot of hair back here. And it has a lot of hair on the top, a lot of hair in the front. So if you had super thick, full hair, you couldn't see your scalp, you had a pretty thick, dense hairline, this is going to feel like your bio hair. But for those of us who didn't have a ton of hair, maybe we've been losing them for a long time, this one is going to feel like a lot of hair. And I believe that the straight piece is going to feel that way as well. Both of them are just like a thick, full head of hair. It does give you a lot of room to customize, which is a huge benefit, because if it comes with too little hair, that's really difficult to work with. But if it comes with too much, there is so much you can do, whether you do it or you pay someone to do it. I actually have a document that I've created. It's a spreadsheet. I call it the ultimate resource. On that spreadsheet, I have a tab where I list stylists who will customize wigs. It's not exhaustive. There are going to be tons and tons more and all around that I don't know about. So it might be worth checking that out. I'll link it below, but also doing some research on your local area to see if you can find someone who works on wigs, because then you could purchase this piece and have it customized so that it is perfect for you. And I would like to talk about the lace before we talk about fit, because it sort of goes along with fit. The lace that they used on this piece, I have another piece from them that's curly, that has this type of lace, and it doesn't lay completely flat. And so I have to glue the lace down on these to get it to lay flat. It is just the type of lace that they've used, and I think it's probably going to be true for most people, but if you look at it closely, you can see it's sort of buckling right there. That's what the lace, this type of lace, has done on me on another piece of theirs. So I just put a little water-soluble adhesive on my forehead. I kind of press it, kind of smooth it out, and then put tension on it, and then it lays flat, and I have no issue with it at all. One of my favorite products to use to do that is called Lace Stick, and it's by a company called Wig Guru. I have a video where I show that product. It is incredible. I love my curly piece from Emma Hairpiece. It's not this one exactly, but I love that wig so much. I don't mind having to glue the lace down because it's so great. But I just want you to have the information so you can make the best decision. Let's talk about fit. I think these caps run a little bit smaller than average, somewhere between average and average petite. It's really loose on my head right now. I would have to cinch this in probably a couple of notches. I have a 21¼ circumference. That's the measurement around, all the way around where kind of the edge of the wig would sit. I do get a little bit of extra cap up here as well. So I would say this is running close to average, but a little bit smaller than average. Okay, we're going to talk about color, but I just kind of want to summarize my thoughts. I think these are great base model wigs that are going to allow you to customize it to your liking. I do think most women are going to need to do something to these pieces. I think you're going to need to cut some layers in, or thin it out a little bit, or pluck the hairline, or pluck the part line, because it is very, very heavily knotted all throughout, and the hairline is very densely knotted. Price point, as long as you're going into it with your eyes wide open about the work you may need to do to them, I think they're great. I really, really do. And I love that there's an option to get a curly piece if that's what you're looking for. All right, I thought we would do color with it off my head so that you can easily see them side by side. What you're looking at. The curly piece on the left is the number 4. That's the color name is 4. The straight piece on the right is called Cafe. The biggest difference is depth of tone. So the 4 is a dark brown. They are looking really true in my viewfinder right now. Dark brown, it's a chocolatey brown, it's a warm brown. There's not really red, but it's definitely a chocolatey brown. There's the slightest kind of auburn tone to it. Whereas the cafe color, so on the straight piece, that is more auburny. It's more of a medium brown with some auburn tones. I would consider that more of a brownish auburn, a chocolate. It's not red, but it's definitely more toward auburn than toward kind of an ashy brown, if that makes sense. So if you like deep, dark, chocolatey browns, then the number 4 is a great color for you. If you like more of a medium brown and you can do a little bit of an auburn tone, you're not looking for ashy, then the cafe color is perfect for you. This is just the best representation of these colors side by side as I could possibly do. So hopefully that's helping. All right, I thought I'd throw on the straight one just one more time and wrap it up. So hopefully that gave you a good sense of the difference between these two colors. If you have any questions about these pieces, please let me know. I'm happy to help. Hopefully, though, this was good enough to help you get a sense of these wigs and their differences. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Hey friends, thanks so much for watching. Here are a few videos I think you might enjoy. Go ahead and click on one and watch.